Why did I decide to start living in a van as somebody that has two businesses? A very valid question, right? Because if I have money, if I have success, if I have all these things that come with owning businesses and having successful businesses, why would I want to live in a van? Well, there's multiple reasons, and I'm gonna outline them to you now, so hopefully it gives you a bit of a perspective. I never grew up with having the luxury of a financially stable family, right? Most of the Christmases that I can remember, I never got any gifts. Most of the birthdays that I can remember, I never got any gifts because we just couldn't afford it. The most we used to get was just a little chocolate bar or something along those lines, right? Very, very basic, very, very simple. So, however, that doesn't mean that I did not see success while I was growing up. From the age of 6, my parents made me go to wrestling, freestyle wrestling, because it was a big part of my father's life. So I went because I technically didn't really have a choice. So I went. I hated it to begin with, but persistence, consistency, and discipline of doing it, regardless if I was forced or not, brought me success. It took me 5 years to win my first fight. 5 years as somebody that's 6 years old to win a fight in a sport. That's a fucking long time to persevere and continue doing something, right? But I did, and it gave me a taste of what kind of a mental reward you can get from doing something for a very sustained period of time. The feeling of winning was immense. Like, it was super, super powerful, right? So I did really, really well. I saw loads of success. I was an international champion, national champion in Lithuania. I went to Europe Championships several times, World Championships. I was a contender to participate in the 2012 Olympics as well. So I did mega, mega well, right? So then I moved. I got the feeling of freedom. I moved to the UK. The idea was to study at a university, study economics, build up my career in finances, earn good money, live the standard 9 to 5, work my ass off to comparatively get a mediocre salary if you compare it to high salaries, right? And yeah, I thought that's gonna be what I'm gonna chase. A career in finance. Lo and behold, within 6 months I dropped out because I got addicted to drugs. I got in massive debt. I couldn't be asked to find a job, and when I did find a job, it was a 0-hour contract, so I was barely getting any work, so the debt was getting worse and worse. And it took me to get to the absolute rock bottom to realize that I'm wasting my life away and I have to do something about it. So I did. I worked my ass off, regained that athletic mindset of discipline, consistency, and persistence, grit. So I worked my ass off, became a chartered accountant, ironically still went into finances, worked top finance jobs in massive corporations, pension funds, and whatnot. And the money was good, but I was doing crazy, crazy hours. I was working like 70, sometimes even 80-hour weeks, right? It was fucking insane. It drove me mad. I was starting to get mega stressed, depressed, and all that stuff. And that was the breaking point for me, because I realized that I was trying to chase this equilibrium in life. I was trying to get a good balance between what I needed to do and what I wanted to do in life. So I quit my last high caliber job in finances and I started my own accountancy practice. Now, I haven't grown it large. I never intended to. I wanted to use it to substitute the income that I had, but be my own boss. And I managed to do it. It was more than enough to substitute the income. I wasn't overwhelmed. I had a shit ton of spare time, but there was still an issue. I was still missing things. I didn't get the fulfillment from what I was doing. And then the second element that came into the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is the purpose that I had wasn't the purpose that I needed to achieve. I wanted to achieve a purpose, which was to be very wealthy, have fast cars, have a massive house and all that stuff. But what you want is not what you need. And it takes a lot of introspection, self-development work to understand what it is that you need. And what I needed in life was fulfillment through healing people. So my accountancy practice stayed as is. It still is staying as is. It's not going anywhere. But I started a new venture, which will slowly move me away from finances completely, which is what I'm doing now. It's coaching people in terms of productivity and habit creation. And when you see people and hear people come to you and be like, oh my God, my life's an absolute shambles. I'm so unproductive. I procrastinate. My habits are shit. Like, I'm not getting anywhere with my time. And then within 2-3 weeks, their life starting to change. The spark is back in their eyes. They know their purpose. They know their vision. They have a guiding star. They know their mission in life. They have these goals, strategies in place, and their personality changes. They become so much more alive, so much more willing to just fucking push and work and achieve things. They have more time. They have more discipline, more consistency. It brings so much joy in my life. And like I mentioned, I was addicted to drugs, right? So I replaced all that bad shit, those bad addictions with a different addiction. The different addiction is happiness. And what makes me happy is freedom. I want the most freedom I can get. I don't want to pay fucking council tax. I don't want to pay for fucking electricity. I don't want to pay for gas and heating. I don't want to pay for fucking TV license. What even is that shit? I don't want to pay for all these things. I want to be free. I want to be my own boss, fully self-sustained. And the dream is to travel, find a plot of land somewhere to buy, settle completely off-grid, be fully self-sufficient, and live without bothering anyone or being bothered by anyone. That is the goal. And what I'm doing now is I'm building the infrastructure to allow myself and my wife to be able to do this. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm choosing to live in a van as a 2-business owner. Test. I have to explain this part because otherwise I don't know how I'm going to show it to you, but we have these little yoga mats here. We're not going to use them for yoga, so I'm going to use them for lining down the garage. Once that's done, I can start doing the fridge and crack on with the rest of the stuff after the fridge. Why, hello there. The weather is not very favorable today, but I sort of laid out the mattress for the garage now. Still need to buy a few more to fully lay it out, but at least I have enough to be able to put the fridge in place. You know what I'm saying? You can see it's sort of done there. You know what's really frustrating is when you film stuff after you filmed stuff like reels, and then you realize about half an hour of content you filmed in a vertical format rather than horizontal, so it's all useless for a YouTube video. Anyway, this is what we got going right now. So what you've missed is I attached the door to the fridge slidey bit, but it's a bit flimsy, so I'll need to maybe attach some beams here that will go across and drill this in and attach it to the frame. By the way, I have a frame for the fridge now. I'll just need to cut out some little grooves down at the bottom here so the railings can fit, because I didn't account for them. We also have a mat. You can kind of see here, but it's not finished yet, but I'll finish it off soon. So the garage is matted out pretty much. Cubby, backrest, cubby. And then I did cutouts for the bed wall thing. There's a little cutout there. There's a little cutout here for the fridge door. And there's nothing there because nothing needs to be there. But yeah, and now I'm staining the wood. So that's going to be the bit that will grab and pull the bed out, which is what I'm going to be working on now. So yeah, stain the wood, attach the IKEA beam to it, and then attach slats that are going to go in between these little gaps here, and it should pull out on these benches on both sides. Fun times, fucked up footage, loads of work, good days. This smells like absolute heaven, but looks like scooping poop. And then you're smearing poop onto wood. Amazing. Peak construction work. I mean, I am just considering it poop. Obviously it's not, but you know, I am just an immature male. And as an immature male, everything is poop. So now the tricky part is to get this IKEA beam to measure out nicely with this thing, so I can drill in the holes exactly where it needs to be, so this stays very flushly on the wood here and it slides nicely, and so that this is at the perfect height, so it's not higher or lower, god damn it, than the actual other supporting beams. So this is the underneath view, which is gonna be the front of the pull-out plate, and technically it should sit just on the bottom of it, so about here. I'm gonna do a pilot hole here. I'm gonna drill through, and then hopefully it fits snug as a bug in a rug. Now I need to put stuff away so I don't forget where I put it, because as some of you I'm sure will know, it is very easy to start doing something and then you just put it away and you're like, I'm sure I had this somewhere nearby, and then you end up spending 50% of your time when you should be working on the van stuff, searching for van stuff in the van. Okay. Alright, that's the pilot hole in. Let's put the screw in and see what we're working with. Seems to be solid. This is how it's gonna go, alright? So this is what I screwed on, and now technically it should just go in. Oh, it does. And that should be very flush with the bottom, which it is. Oh, perfection. Okay, so this will need a lot of screws. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. A little lesson to be learned. Do far side first, put a screw in. Do the other far side next and put a screw in, because now the holes don't match. I need to re-drill one, maybe more holes. Learn from me, don't make the same mistake. You know when you do something and you haven't even planned it and it works perfectly. Like I got 9 planks of wood that are 70 mil by 2.4 meters. And I knew that I'll need like 4.5-ish of them. And then the remainder, the one that I thought was going to be half, is just long enough to be a stopping beam for the slide out bit. Just long enough so I don't have to cut a separate piece of wood for that. Oh. What's up, my people? We back! And we have a very nice subject for you. I wasn't able to film much of it yesterday because it was an absolute pain in the ass to do as it was, but surprise, surprise, the bed frame is done and it looks fucking awesome, if I do say so myself. I am so happy with it, super pleased. We have the cubbies, even though they have shit in them right now, but have cubbies on the side. It sits mega flush on the bed wall. We have the little door for the fridge here. The benches on the side, here and here. The length of the bed is perfect, even though I kind of eyeballed it. And it slides out to a full king-size bed. And it honestly fits mega snugly. It's not perfect. It wasn't meant to be perfect, because it adds that little flair of I winged it and I've done it and it's mine the way I've done it. It gives it a very, very special feeling, you know? So I'm really, really happy with it. Honestly, I couldn't stop thinking about it yesterday because I finished it and I was like, damn, I actually managed to do this. It is so fucking cool, you know? So yeah, I'm chuffed with it, really, really happy. It holds both of our weight without any issues. No creaks, no rattles, no nothing. Super, super good, super sturdy. Now it's time to crack on and do the other bits. So now what we're gonna work on is we're gonna work on making the benches the way they should be. So they'll have a top lid with a cushion, with a little leather string here that we'll be able to pull and open it up like this. If we need to go inside the benches, it's gonna have the same on both. Then what I'm gonna do is in the backboard there, I'm gonna make a little slit around that area. You can't really see it behind the mattress, but it's gonna be around that area. I'm gonna push through a leather strip that's gonna attach to the handle of the back door, because otherwise we won't be able to reach it, because I'm gonna be walling off that area so we don't see the garage at all. So a little hole for the leather strip so we can grab it, pull it open. The door is gonna open up, and this door is gonna open up without any leather strips or anything. There's like a massive little handle, talk about contradicting, but it's a massive handle that goes like about 10 centimeters from the middle of the door. So yeah, we'll be able to reach that without any problem once that door is open. So, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fortify this a little bit, because right now it's quite flimsy, right? And I need it to hold in with magnets. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a wooden frame around that door on the inside, and I'm gonna put a little wooden bit on the lip of that wall, one piece of magnet on the frame of this, one piece of magnet on the little lip there, and it's gonna hold the door in place. This should be pretty solid when I screw it into the bench. This here is gonna be pretty solid when I screw it into the bench, so I'm not worried about those too much. And yeah, that should be it then. We'll be putting on a frame around this to make it nice and tidy, but you'll see that in time it's gonna be stained with the same staining wax as this wood. So yeah, it's gonna look nice. Promise you. I absolutely promise you it's gonna look very, very nice. Yeah. But otherwise, I won't be able to do much work because the van's going into the garage tomorrow, because there's a bit of a rattle on the front suspension. It sounds like you're driving a shopping cart over bumpy, not even bumpy, but like non-smooth roads, so to say. So I'm gonna have them to have I'm gonna take the van to them so they have a look and see what's going on. That is pretty much it for this part. If you guys want to know how I made the bed, I'm more than happy to give more info, because I absolutely like completely winged it. I had no plans, I just made it as I went. So if you want more details on it, drop a comment and I'll be able to give as much advice as I can, and you can take it however you want to. I'm not a professional, but I managed to do this. So if you like this video, as always, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the bell notification. You know it, guys. I love you all. Only peace, only good vibes here. And I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned, because it's going to be a good one. It always is a good one.